350 million tons of plastic are produced yearly, and 14 million of those tons end up in the ocean.
Because of this, 80% of the ocean debris on Earth is plastic.
But what if we told you that in the near future, algae bioplastics and other bioplastics could fully replace regular plastic?
Algae plastic is biodegradable.
This means that after 3 to 4 months, it completely disappears, leaving no trace at all, unlike regular oil plastic. It also closes the carbon cycle. When algae grows, it absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is then released when it degrades. Compare this to regular plastic, which is made from oil that has been buried in the earth for millions of years.
Globally, the average person throws away over 110 pounds of plastic every year. So multiply that by the number of people in the world, which would be around 8 billion, and you would get 880 billion pounds of plastic. That means that 880 billion pounds of plastic are produced and thrown away in just 1 year.
In other words, in only 1 year, the world will have thrown away more plastic than Elon Musk has money. And where does all that plastic go? Most of it goes to a landfill or the ocean, where it can sit for years and years before even beginning to decompose.
Cutting down on the use of plastic is hard. I would know because a huge part of the thing I own are plastic. I'm not willing to completely stop using plastic just because it's bad for the environment. Yeah, I said it. And I bet that all of you say that you would, but how many of you have actually completely stopped using plastic? Come on, raise your hands.
Now,
And that is what I call a trick question. I doubt that all of you threw your Ziploc bags, binders, baby bottles, and plastic bubble wrap. I know. You love to clap. Some plastics are important or even essential, like in the healthcare system, where plastic products help protect doctors, nurses, and other medical providers stay healthy. Although these are all bad, single-use plastic is probably the worst of all because it ends up in the ocean or landfill after a day or two of use.
it's a difficult decision to cut down on the use of plastics, such as plastic packaging. People have tried to change plastic packaging over the years for environmental benefits, but a lot of people don't want to change them because they're so great at protecting products for health and keeping food fresh. That's good because food waste is another huge contributing factor to climate change. What would be great is to have something almost exactly like plastic, but not quite.
Algae plastic can easily replace real plastic, considering it doesn't need clean water to grow, grows fast, and absorbs CO2. If I had a choice, I would switch to algae plastic in a second. Algae is preferable to other forms of bioplastic like corn for a few reasons. First, algae has a fast growth rate, meaning it does not take long to produce plastic. Second, algae fixes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, meaning that it absorbs all the greenhouse gases we have in our air. Third, algae grows in water, so it requires no land area, not taking up farmland that could be used for crops. And finally, algae has a high density of the chemicals needed to make plastic. These chemicals are called polymers, and with other bioplastics there's often a lot of waste, but with algae there's not a lot.
Why isn't it taking money? Why isn't it taking over regular oil plastic if it's so great? The thing is, it's expensive to buy, much more so than plastic.
So if the companies had a choice between buying cheap plastic or algae bioplastic, it would just make sense to choose the cheaper version.
I'd imagine their conversation over which to choose would go a little like this.
I mean, I'd love to save the earth and all, but it's really late and I really want that money. So let's go with plastic.
Yay, plastic.
Yay, money!
On the topic of money, in 2022, the bioplastic industry is valued to be worth around $7 billion US. And it's estimated to be worth around, it's estimated to be worth $63.65 billion US dollars by 2032. While on the other hand, the regular plastic, oil plastics, were valued around $600 billion US in 2022 and are estimated to be worth $811.83 billion US by 2032. And also, producing plastics from oils costs 56 cents per pound, while producing bioplastics from algae costs $5.02 per pound.
So what are the economic benefits of bioplastic? Be warned, I'm going to say on average a lot here. Ready? On average, 100,000 marine animals die from plastic waste each year. On average, a pound of fish costs around $5. On average, $15 billion is spent on cleaning plastic out of the ocean. This means that on average, by our calculations, combining the loss of marine animals and money spent cleaning up oceans, that's a lot of money.
Don't you mean $50,989,648.02?
Sure. None of those problems are present in algae bioplastic. Also, supply and demand will make the bioplastic market worth more and more the less plastic made from oil is used.
Alexander Parks, named the godfather of bioplastics, accidentally made the first bioplastic in 1862 out of cellulose.
German chemists invented Goliath in 1897. Goliath is a bioplastic made out of milk, and casein plastic is also milk-based plastic. The process of making both plastics is the same. First, milk is heated and then combined with some type of acid, which then hardens and turns into polymer, and finally can be scooped and molded. Goliath is still used to this day to make buttons.
The first working bioplastic, PHP, was created by a French researcher named Maurice Lemoine in 1926. PHP was the first bioplastic that was naturally biodegradable in natural environments.
Okay, I'll just go. In the early 2000s, an English company, Notfla, made cutlery out of a bioplastic that included knives, forks, spoons, and even cups. You may have seen these in some of the local stores.
Often at my school, kids forget forks at home and are forced to use plastic forks at school that are not biodegradable. Well, there are two ways to fix this. The first is to make middle schoolers remember their stuff. But let's be honest, that's not going to happen. So why not switch to algae bioplastics?
Algae bioplastics are an emerging technology and the sector is dominated by startup companies.
Biopack's packaging can post in under 10 years without the need for special industrial processing and validation stages. In 2019, there are a lot of startups in this space, with Biopack in Indonesia, Rain Innovation in South Korea, Mersal in the UK, and Rotomax, also in Indonesia, were some of them.
Bioplastic can also be colored, printed, heat sealed, and adjusted for thickness. In recent years, companies such as Adidas, Reebok, and Altexis have started making shoes of an algae bioplastic. Another type of shoe similar to those, called the plume shoe, is made by harvesting algae, drying it into a powder, milling the powder into a flakes, then they... actually the other way around. They're dried into flakes, milled into a powder, blended into pellets, then the pellets are turned into the final product.
A New York fashion designer named Charlotte McCurdy designed a jacket with algae plastic that absorbs CO2 from the atmosphere. Charlotte McCurdy is a designer who blends science and design to battle existential threats.
A plastic called PVC causes breast cancer in both females and males. It can also cause brain, liver, lung cancer, and leukemia. It occurs thanks to the toxic carbon dioxide fumes plastic emits. This is the reason why some plastics are not sold for public usage in places anymore, and some countries have even had those plastics discontinued or banned. It is bad for the environment and for us. Algae bioplastic emits zero CO2 and even goes so far as to remove it from the air. It's just a better option.
Regular plastic can also last from 20 to 500 years, so it can take a very long time to degrade, while some bioplastics can only last 4 to 6 weeks. That's good, but with the right process, bioplastics can last a couple of years, and the best part is that they emit almost zero carbon dioxide.
There are also endless possibilities when you're talking about algae bioplastics. You can make sunglasses, toys, dresses, cutlery, jackets, shoes, anything you desire. For example, Gucci, the fashion company, decided to make a new type of sunglasses called liquid wood glasses. They're made out of a biodegradable plastic, very similar to algae plastic. eKoala is taking a step in the right direction by making building blocks, big marbles, or even a potty chair out of bioplastic.
Bioplastics can help battle the major issue of climate change that we're all facing at this moment. And along the way, you can discover some of the amazing things that bioplastics can do. like creating natural rubber, plastics, foam, dresses, shoes, and even glasses. Overall, algae bioplastics are much more desirable than regular plastic. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.